bodyguards frozen like statues, talking screams, flying champagne. And Remy Ma losing it in front of the whole VIP guest list. What happened at that party? Ladies and gentlemen, will go down as one of the most jaw-dropping incidents in celebrity history. Because Remy Ma screamed, "You stole everything from me." Wait, everything? Not the man, not the spotlight, not even the Instagram followers. Everything, while pointing directly at Claressa's shields amid flashing cameras, slow motion, dance battles, and expensive clothing. And get this outburst wasn't just loud. It was intentional, as if she had been practicing that line in the mirror for weeks. At first, security didn't even move. They believed it to be a show. The commotion started, however, when the glass shattered and Remy sprang across the VIP table as if it were the last boss level. What precisely did Claressa steal then? Why did Remy jeopardize her career in a single public outburst? And with pirated audio already making the rounds online, who managed to capture every moment in 4K? This story will be completely turned upside down by what we discovered next, so you had better settle down. Let's dissect everything. Like all A-list affairs, it began that way. A guest list full of drama, imported champagne, and velvet ropes. However, what transpired at Brandon's downtown Atlanta Celebrity Lounge was more than simply a source of rumors. It had all the hallmarks of Remy Moss and was a full-fledged emotional nuclear explosion. According to witnesses, the celebration was going strong, with personalities from all facets of sports and hip-hop mingling. Cardi B was seen drinking a glitter-covered margarita in the corner booth. In front of the selfie wall, Rick Ross was busy showing off. Ice Spice even made a brief cameo before leaving as soon as the situation heated up. And by heat up, we mean turmoil that burns the guest list and scorches the walls. But since this is about more than a party, let's go back in time. This has to do with treachery. This has to do with Remy Ma. Claressa Shields, the unbeaten boxing champion, is the subject of this story. She arrived at the party wearing Rhee's worst nightmare. We're not discussing fashion either. We're discussing papoose. Yes, exactly. The man who supported Remy Ma when she was incarcerated, hailed as Black Love's last soldier. It's the same man who wrapped around Loyalty Road for her when she was down. Claressa Shields had now been publicly booted up with that man. Additionally, they were holding hands like they were in a Tyler Perry finale, smiling, whispering, and even performing the together. Take 2 steps. This is where things start to get messy. Remy Ma was unaware that Claressa and Papoose would be present together, according to several sources within the venue, including an unnamed bartender who claimed she was too heavily tipped to tell the truth. Sure, she had anticipated Claressa, but Papoose was a surprise blow to her ribs. According to an insider, Remy was already tense before entering. She reportedly broke down in tears in the parking lot, requiring her glam squad to redo her makeup twice. Remy warned her, "If I see that girl with my man, I'm flipping every damn table in there." She did, according to another witness who works as a stylist for a number of hip-hop and romance celebrities. The room's temperature plummeted by 10 as soon as Remy walked in. Sensing that something cosmic had just changed, even the DJ briefly stopped the beat. Remy ignored the welcoming photos and strolled right by the photo booth, looking at Claressa across the room as if it were a win. Claressa didn't blink, flinch, or even take a sip of her drink. Rather, she smirked and tightened her arm around Papoose's shoulder. Oh no! Remy Ma, the Bronx pitbull of hip-hop, made the decision that this evening would not conclude with silent side looks or courteous shade at that very moment. No, Remy was prepared to have a complete moment of WrestleMania. And she gave birth, baby, as if the red carpet owed her answers. She strode across the room. It's like a countdown to catastrophe. Heels click. Her fists were clenched, and her eyes were glassy, half heartbroken, half. Security monitored her movements but took no action. Technically, she wasn't doing anything yet, after all. that quickly changed. One visitor compared what followed to the emotional equivalent of a meteor impact. Remy didn't simply go up to them. She burst out with phones, recording, and cameras flashing. Remy gestured to Claressa and uttered the now famous words, "Already sent me to hell. I lost everything because of you." Everything. Not only papoose, not only the sympathy of the general populace. Remy was discussing the story, the heritage, and the loyalty. Claressa added insult to injury by laughing. Yes, you heard correctly. One video clip that was leaked claims that Claressa genuinely laughed. That's when Remy lost it. It was the type of laugh that says, "I won, and I'm not even sweating it." A $4,000 expensive dress that was worn by someone we won't name, but who was undoubtedly not involved, was splashed over as her drink went flying. Papoose attempted to get to his feet. Perhaps, too, it was too late to de-escalate. With the vigor of a woman who had been deceived often, Remy surged across the VIP booth. Security rushed in a matter of seconds. The guests let out a yell. "World star," was shouted by someone because, of course, they did. In the midst of the confusion, a person's stiletto fell off and landed on the DJ's table. This wasn't simply a chaotic moment, though, so let's take a moment to be serious. This woman was in danger. Despite jail time, public scandals, and highs and lows in her career, Remy Ma had maintained her composure. However, witnessing the man with whom she had a public fantasy spend time with a woman half her industry age and twice as going viral. Something inside her was broken by that. Was more than a scene. It was devastating, as well as the internet. Oh, it blew up, as you already know. 5 distinct perspectives of the incident, each with its own bootleg emoji commentary, were shared on X, the former Twitter, within 20 minutes. Instantly, hashtags like hashtag Remy VSCLARESSA, hashtag PAPOOSE explain, and hashtag Remy Snap were popular. It gets better, though, since it seems that someone in the DJ's group recorded the entire altercation, including a whispered conversation that was missed at the time. A disturbingly Claressa-like voice may be heard stating, "He was never yours in the first place." Boom! Checkmate in high heels. If this were chess, and that's precisely the point at which the narrative transitions from drama to a thorough inquiry. Because Remy was not handcuffed when she was led away by security minutes after the altercation. She was not taken into custody. Furthermore, our sources claim that she wasn't even prohibited from entering the location. What came next then? Remy went where? When Claressa discovered that the cameras were still rolling, how did she respond? Things take a more sinister and perverse turn at that point. Because just when you thought Remy was no longer involved, 8-second parking lot video? And everyone was wondering if this was the start of something far worse after seeing what was caught outside the venue. Let's begin. Atlanta parking lot at midnight. And just when we believed that the match between Remy Ma and Claressa Shields had concluded with a viral scream and a discarded drink, boom, another aspect emerged. It wasn't from the club this time. It came from outside. The iPhone footage wasn't shaky. Probably from a paparazzo hiding in the valet bushes with a lens long enough to zoom into heartbreak. This was clear, well-lit, high-definition pandemonium. Remy is shown pacing hard, wearing heels off, shifting her wig slightly, and smudging her mascara at the start of the video. She appeared to be leaving behind everything she had ever known. She held her phone in one hand while continuously clenching the other into a fist. This time she wasn't shouting. She took everything. She took everything. She was saying to herself in a whisper when a familiar voice called out to her from behind. "Yo, Remy, don't make this worse. It's a papoose." At that point, events take a drastic turn when Remy turns around and yells back, "Worse." The audio is brutal, raw, and real. Some claim it's staged, while others say it's too real, too fake. Regardless, it hit the internet like a sledgehammer through glass. And within hours, Remy Breakdown and P4 were reposted over 87,000 times. The worst part is that someone muted the final 10 seconds of the clip. What's hidden there then? Well, anonymous insiders claimed that Remy threatened legal action, hinted at revealing old secrets, and even mentioned a child. Yes, you read correctly. According to a leaked direct message purportedly sent from a burner account associated with Remy's inner circle, she yelled at Papoose, "Tell her the truth about that baby before I do." Police, Scarlett. Hold on, police Scarlett a baby. If this is accurate, then everything we know about this love triangle turns into a real maze of deceit, betrayal, and possibly even cover-ups. Some speculate that Claressa may have had a child with Papoose prior to their relationship going public, while others claim it's about Remy's own child and a cover-up involving previous DNA tests. None of that has been confirmed yet, but Claressa's shields are completely unfazed. The morning following the event, Claressa uploaded a picture of herself on Instagram with a smile and a glass of green juice, captioning it, "Still undefeated." In and out of the ring, boxing glove, nail polish, phew. Remy got rocked, and it wasn't even a fight. That's a champion answer, period. Go cry in the studio, Remy. That one post received 1.2 million views in less than 6 hours, and the comments were gushing about it. One comment, which is now pinned on many reposts, stated, "Y'all forgot who held Papoose down when the world forgot about him." Claressa was the target of a flood of ardent support from lifelong Remy Ma fans. Claressa is merely cleaning up an empire that she did not create. And another, this isn't a boxing match. This championship is a home crash. And certainly, fans are now asking that he take a side, but he hasn't yet. Let's not overlook the larger consequences either. This wasn't just a private drama anymore. Even Fat Joe subtly joined in, tweeting the cryptic remark, "Loyalty doesn't cost a thing until it's tested." In response, Claressa laughed and said, "Tell Remy to train harder before stepping in my ring." It was the top headline on every blog, gossip page, and YouTube channel from LA to London. The following day, TMZ even attempted to get Claressa to remark outside a training facility. I respect both of these strong black women. I ask for privacy while we deal with personal matters. Sir, privacy? And then there's Papoose, the man at the center of it all. Once viewed as the poster boy for loyalty, he's now being dragged like a purse at a flea market. Finally, he broke the silence with a bland, damage-controlled statement on Threads. "Cold face, cold face, cold face." Twitter wasn't amused because you were seen on camera grabbing Claressa's waist like you were slow dancing at a wedding. And now you want privacy? Not Papoose, the main character in season 35 of As the Bronx Turns, asking for privacy after being quiet for 10 years, and now we want him to never shut up. Sir, if you're being held captive by boxing gloves and BBL energy, blink twice. Let's face it, this whole thing went haywire the moment someone chose to leak that venue guest list to the blogs. Do you know how these things work? A dishonest assistant, a jealous stylist, or a drunk DJ can send one screenshot to the right blogger and boom, public outing. And guess what? We just got an exclusive, yet unconfirmed report that the venue owner is hiring a lawyer. The reason for this is that, according to security logs, someone attempted to follow Claressa to her car that evening. They were stopped by event staff, but when questioned, the person claimed to be working with Remy's PR team. Additionally, one of the champagne bottles that Remy Ma allegedly smashed wasn't part of the bar. Rather, it was borrowed from a private collector. Consider this: Claressa's abrupt involvement with Papoose, Remy's immediate emotional collapse. She had no idea this was coming, a baby's secret. Threats of exposure captured on tape. No, this isn't just drama. This is the beginning of a full-blown unraveling. We're not saying this was a setup, but it does sound suspiciously like the beginning of a scandal much larger than spilled drinks and viral quotes. And let's not even get started on the enigmatic Bronx truth teller, a mysterious TikTok user who has been posting purported voice notes and old Remy Ma and Papoose voicemails. It seems like someone wanted this public humiliation. Like Ree's image, her legacy was purposefully set on fire. And we're just getting started because insiders say that Ree's next move isn't a diss track. It's something much, much worse. One clip, Papoose seems to admit that he felt abandoned and used for image. In another, Remy talks about how she had one bullet left and wasn't going to waste it. It wasn't a press tour. It wasn't even an apology. It was a lawsuit. Yes, according to court documents filed just 2 days after the party. Remy Ma's legal team filed a claim against Claressa Shields, accusing her of purposeful emotional distress, character defamation, and legacy sabotage. The term itself caused debate among Twitter experts, but the message was clear. Remy wasn't taking down the lying. She was retaliating, this time with documentation. But that wasn't the most outrageous part. Additionally, a timeline of alleged manipulation was included. In the lawsuit, Remy's legal team said that Claressa had been planning her closeness to Papoose since 2023, long before the public found out. Okay? They said that Claressa had entered Ree's personal life under the pretense of being a motivational mentor, even offering to help produce a documentary about Black women juggling fame and family while also secretly deeming her husband. You really can't make this stuff up. Oh wait, we just did. But listen, if this were a Netflix drama, we'd already be 6 episodes deep and ready for a plot twist. Speaking of twists, guess who suddenly began working with the media? Papoose, Mr. Loyalty, Mr. Black Love, Mr. I waited 7 years for her, he said in a quiet sit-down interview with a small independent podcast that was later syndicated across all major blogs within hours. I gave everything to that marriage, but when it became a prison with no bars, I had to walk out. People went crazy. But wait, it gets messier. Sometimes we love who someone used to be, not who they are now. So, are you confirming the relationship with Claressa? The podcast presenter asks him right after that. Papoose pauses, smiles, and continues. Let's just say that I found peace, and peace isn't a crime. Boom, confirmed. All the rumors, all the blurry photos, all the coincidental vacation overlaps. This wasn't speculation anymore. This was a public declaration of betrayal. Remy Ma reportedly watched that interview alone inside her manager's office. Sources say she didn't even cry. She just stood there silent and then whispered, "He really did it." At that point, the subsequent video was released. Not of Remy or Papoose, but of Fat Joe on a live stream. Be careful when you let fame play therapist. I used to tell my brother, face dead serious, voice low. There are some people you just don't betray cryptic. Absolutely. But was it a warning or a rebuke? Fans instantly speculated that Joe was siding with Remy, and not just emotionally. Because within 48 hours, Remy was spotted at Terror Squad Studios, the same place she launched her comeback after prison. The same place where she once said this, "Mike saved my life." And she was now, "You boxed your way in. Now box your way out. I birthed a dynasty." You're chasing clout. While fans argued over who had the right to speak. Another bombshell was dropped. A leaked deposition surfaced. A deposition as part of Ree's legal filing, and in it, she claims that during her 2022 tour, Papoose Ghost wrote several responses Claressa used in interviews, responses intended to rebrand her as a multi-platform personality, not just a fighter, but a thinker, a woman with substance. Why is this important? Because if it's true, it means that Papoose wasn't just cheating on Remy. He was using her playbook, her style, and her strategies to build a new empire behind her back. In one crazy turn of events, Claressa allegedly even used Ree's exact words from a 2018 interview on The Breakfast Club. Word for word. Fans were now calling her a career thief, not just a homewrecker. Despite this, Claressa remained unfazed, going live on Instagram wearing a bright pink hoodie that read, "It ain't if it is already yours, it is theft." Additionally, a fan inquired, "What are you going to say to Remy now?" "Remain in the booth, girl," she added with a sly smile. "It's the only place you say for me." "Wow," said the commenter, but behind all the memes and the mess, this saga reveals something deeper. This wasn't just a woman scorned. She's going to need headgear for the shade she's throwing. "Remy, this is a TKO, and you haven't even rung the bell. Someone get Judge Judy on this mess." This was a queen overthrown, a foundation broken, a legacy, unsettled, and worse, it's being broadcast live on television. With every comment, clip, and leaked direct message, we are seeing the slow collapse of one of hip-hop's most famous love stories turned into content for the general public. And even though Claressa is unbeaten in the ring, what will happen when the crowd turns? Rumor has it that a number of brand deals are retractions. A fitness company has already canceled a collaboration video with her. A documentary crew has halted production, and there are rumors that her next fight may be boycotted by Ree's fans. On the other hand, Remy isn't immune either. Her reputation, which was restored after her release from prison, has been shattered once more. Rumor has it that she is rebranding or that she is spiraling. But one thing is for sure, she is planning a telling interview, and guess who is producing it? Mona Scott, the same Mona Scott who created love and hip-hop, is the queen of transforming chaos into cultural currency and the person who knows how to turn heartbreak and scandal into a plot point. According to sources, the working title is Remy Ma, which you may not have guessed. The real fight is just getting started, and this time there are no gloves, only cameras and consequences. And there you have it, one drink, one scream, and one broken legacy shattered in front of the world with every second captured in 4K. Remy Ma's crown was stolen, Claressa's silence was weaponized, and Papoose was somewhere in the middle of a love triangle that turned into a public battleground. And it promises to cover everything from prison regrets to motherhood to Papoose's darkest secrets. So buckle up, because if you thought the lawsuit was brutal or the drink toss was dramatic, you haven't seen anything yet. The next leak is coming, so trust us. We'll be right here to break it down frame by frame. Because in this saga, every side has a story, but only one has the final say. And guess what? We're not done yet. Did Claressa go too far? Or was she just claiming what was already broken? Is Papoose the villain or the victim? Share your thoughts below, because this isn't just gossip. This is warfare with Wi-Fi. Eyes like you felt secondhand betrayal. Speech balloon? Keep checking back, because the next time a mysterious baby and father show up in the chat, let's just pretend it's not you.